Hello and welcome to this roundtable dedicated to circular economy for IT and networks equipment. The circular economy transformation journey is a long-term, challenging and tremendous path. The benefits of such a transformation from the linear economic model to the circular one requires and provides especially a lot of benefits for our industry. Decrease of the cost is an expectation. Decarbonation is also a reliable lever we will be digging today. And the optimization of the raw material usage is also a significant opportunity of this transformation. This transformation requires a move from all the players of the telco industry, operators and suppliers. This is why we are pleased to have gathered for you today 3 key stakeholders of the telecommunication value chain. For the operator standpoint, I'm happy to welcome Esteban Selva from Orange.
Hello Florian, hello everyone.
From the supplier perspective, glad to welcome Farhan Akbar from Nokia. Hello Farhan.
Pleasure to be here, Florian. Hi everyone.
And with new operations like the circular one comes new requirements, and sometimes the regulation does not fit such new requirements. For that, we are pleased to welcome Mark Draeck from the United Nations Industrial Development Organization. Thank you, Mark.
Hi, Florian. Hi, everyone.
Taking into account the challenging commitment that Orange has taken for sustainability, this is a matter of necessity that all our suppliers are engaged into this circular transformation. You understand, if your company is not yet proposing a circular portfolio, circular product or circular services, this roundtable is definitely for you. The first part of our exchange will be dealing with the UNIDO Circular Economy project that has been awarded to our affiliate in Egypt. And the second part will be dealing with the supplier challenges and benefits of such a transformation. So I propose to start this exchange with you, Mark. Thank you for being here in the headquarters of Orange. Could you please briefly introduce the UNIDO to our audience?
Of course, thank you, Florian. UNIDO stands for United Nations Industrial Development Organization. We are a specialized agency of the United Nations system. We are based in Vienna, that's where our headquarters are, and we have offices then around the world. We have 172 member states, around 2,500 people. And as our name suggests, it's all about sustainable industrial development. That is our mandate. That is what we do. We work with industries, we work with governments, and we do that through technical cooperation projects. So we have around 600 of those ongoing around the world. And the strategic priorities of the organization are food safety and security, climate action, and sustainable supply chains. And it's especially these last two that are relevant to what we are talking about today, because under that umbrella, we then have again over 30 projects focusing on circular economy, different value chains, different topics, different industries. And one of these projects is then what you mentioned already, Florian, the Switch to Circular Economy Value Chains project, which is one of those projects and where we have established a partnership as UNIDO with Orange and with close involvement of Nokia.
Thank you, Mark. So indeed, the Circular Economy Initiative promoted by the United Nations. And there is also a cross-industry approach in this program. Could you please elaborate that?
Yes, of course, and this is interesting also because talking a bit more about the project and what is behind it. It's a large initiative funded by the European Union and the government of Finland, and learning from previous experience, what we realized, and you also alluded to that already, is that if you want to make a real change, a transformation of the value chain, the only way of doing that is by working with everyone involved, because one will not move unless the other also moves. And that is where we then started thinking about it, how can we do that? And the way is to involve the large actors, let's say the top of the pyramid, who buys the final product. That's why we started actively looking for corporates, multinationals that were ready to partner with us, and we're very happy that we could establish this partnership with Orange. because that then brings also another, that brings the suppliers in the countries and also in another way into the mix. And then we can start working with all of those, and that is what we will be doing under this project. And to conclude, so this pilot is in a way the real work, the lab where we will do the concrete things in an industrial setting. And apart from that, we have also then within this project activities on the policy framework, on the capacity building for the private sector as a whole, on the access to finance, to complement what we will do and learn in the pilot. And for that, we have partners like Chatham House, Circular Economy, and the European Investment Bank who come in these respective parts. And all of that together has the ambition to then make this change and accelerate this change in the whole value chain. And final thing I will say, we do this indeed on electronics, and likewise we do this also in the textile sector in Bangladesh and for plastics in Morocco.
Thank you. So various geographies for circular economy challenges, which is definitely exciting to see United Nations promoting this new economic model. Let's dig in a little bit more for the UNIDO project. I will turn to my partner Farhan. So this UNIDO project that has been awarded by the United Nations to our affiliate Orange Egypt is dealing with a new market creation, the second-hand market creation. For targeting the ICT, as you said, it's not only a move for infrastructure, but this is also targeting the smartphone industry and the infrastructure. So Nokia is part of this consortium, and we are very happy to have you on board for this UNIDO project. In terms of infrastructure and refurbishment center, can you just elaborate the plan of Nokia in the participation of such a project?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Mark has nicely elaborated the initiative itself. I think I'll touch upon Nokia's overall approach to the circularity. I think in Nokia, as part of a circular strategy, we are looking at it from the end-to-end perspective. We are looking at how we can reuse the critical materials, the non-virgin materials, to build the new units. We are looking at innovative ways to offer energy-efficient solutions to our customers. We are building these refurbishment centers to harvest more life for the units that are already available. We are looking at our entire supply chain to see how we can optimize the carbon footprint. We are even going down the recycling path with our partners to see how we can reduce the e-waste and the landfills. Now, this particular collaboration serves as a cornerstone for us to exercise few of these principles. Now, we will set up this center. We will elongate the life of the products in the country and in the region. But as Mark was saying, that more importantly, because it's a localized solution, that will greatly reduce the logistic footprint, which is one of the achievements we are looking for here.
Indeed, indeed. Thank you. So you're right, extension of life cycle is a reliable lever for the decarbonation of our industry.
Absolutely.
That will be recalled then by Esteban as well. You're right. So for this circular economy model to move on and to reach a scale, we need massification. And you said it's a global move of the industry. In that spirit, Orange is promoting what we call the co-opetition, meaning the collaboration with our competitors in order to make a real change on the global value chain. Do you have any plan for Egypt, for instance, to, I don't know, share this refurbishment center with other telco operators there?
Absolutely, Florian. In order to have a meaningful and measurable outcome and an impact we are looking for, we need to scale it out. We need to scale it across the geographies and increased user base. So currently, we have started with this concept, and we will learn from it. We'll fine-tune the model. We will industrialize it, and we'll scale it out. But currently, we started this with Orange and then with its affiliates. But we would love to have the other Nokia users, the product users, to benefit from this setup, whether they are at the moment in the country, Egypt, or in the region. But there are plans that we need to scale out, and we have just at the start of it in this process, yeah.
That's a fair point. Thank you very much, Farhan. Indeed, the carbon expense due to the circular operation needs to be relevant. So you're
Absolutely.
right, this multi-local approach is key. Thank you, Farhan. I would like now to have the point of view of Orange when it comes to this UNIDO project. Esteban, thank you for being also with us today. Could you just recall what are the expectations of Orange with such an emblematic project, and especially from the cost perspective and from the sustainability perspective, please?
Of course, yes, Florian. So the UNIDO project is very valuable for Orange, of course, and for the entire sector on multiple levels. To resonate with what Farhan said, first and foremost, it will save Nokia from sending equipment from Egypt to Finland, where it is currently being requalified and refurbished. And now the operations will be done in Egypt. This will save a lot of fossil fuels and transportation of products. So by reducing and shortening the logistics path, it will reduce both costs and environmental impact. Additionally, there is a societal impact because Egyptian workers will be trained for this. So it's a way to grow skills in the local workforce.
Good point. That's also something really promoted by the United Nations, is to provide the local skills to the local people. That's absolutely right. More globally, in terms of sustainable approach from a technical point of view, Orange has launched a program called the Green ITN. Could you please just share this program to our audience?
Absolutely, yes. So to be in line with the Paris Agreement, Orange has pledged to reduce its carbon emissions by 45% in 2030 compared to 2020. So the Green ITN program is here to put into music this objective. So we focus on 4 items mainly. So that's country support for solarization, to get out of generator sets which consume a lot of fuel. Develop ITN equipment circularity, so the core of what we're doing here with UNIDO and Nokia. To improve the energy efficiency of products. And finally, to identify Scope 3 reduction levers for equipment and operations.
Thank you. So indeed, 3 significant pillars to reach our commitment, challenging commitment for decarbonation. So it seems that for ITN, it seems well engaged. There is the Oscar program. We have guidelines, and we are going to tackle that. What about the other product, like smartphones or home devices?
So to give some context elements, the French Environment Protection Agency evaluates that about 80% of the entire environmental impact of the ICT is from the user devices, the rest being data centers and networks. To address this, Orange has launched the RE program in Europe with the aim to increase smartphone circularity. So on the one hand, we recover customers' old phones when they purchase a new one. And on the other hand, we sell also refurbished items, refurbished equipment. KPIs for both of these activities are now significant and still growing. Regarding home equipments, so that's gateways and set-top boxes. So the industrial supply chain is already in place. We refurbish as soon as a churn takes place. This allows us to have approximately 80% of gateways, boxes that are refurbished for older models, and it reaches 25% for newer models, which are more in their first life at the present.
Thank you, Esteban. So circular economy is in place for home devices. It's under construction and consolidation for smartphone, and this is as well on the infrastructure. But that's very enthusiastic. But beyond the refurbishment activity, in terms of circular economy best practices, could you just share what is at stake for an operator like Orange regarding circular economy?
Yes, there is a lot that can be done beyond refurbish. Just to go back on refurbishing first, it's a good way for a product to be used even when its first user no longer wishes to use it. So in this way, it can be seen as an optical allocation problem, the right product for the right user. Let us recall also that refurbished equipment go through validation and requalification, depending on the supplier, but for example, Nokia is one of them. They are as reliable as new equipment. Then beyond refurbish, which implies requalification by a supplier or a third party, an affiliate can also reuse equipment. So basically you take an item from a place you don't want to use it anymore and you put it in another place. So there's not necessarily the step of requalification. So it's more suitable now for intra-affiliate operations. However, ultimately, I think the biggest stake is to extend the use duration of the equipment, whether it's used by only one owner or by several owners sequentially. So for this, work is going on with suppliers. Nokia is prime on this. The main concepts are modularity, updatability in time, so regarding security and technical features, and scalability. This allows to really relieve environmental pressure because less raw material is eventually used. Last but not least, we also need to construct low-carbon business models that allow suppliers and operators to continue being profitable. For example, through constructing less equipment and using less virgin raw material, but offering more support services. I want to emphasize that raw materials are as precious as energy, and they should be spared in the same regard.
That is absolutely correct, yes. We have only one planet, so let's take care of her. You're right. Thank you very much, Esteban. So it's confirmed that this circular economy is a great lever for the decarbonation of our industry. But you're right, the business model is at stake, and we need to all together invent and deploy those new business models with more respect to the raw material usage, as an example. So this is the end of this first part of our exchange on the UNIDO. First of all, I would like to send a warm greetings to all of you, of course, but also to the partners to this great initiative. Of course, the colleagues of Orange Egypt that are very committed to make a change on their local market for the benefit of people and planet. Let's now move to the second part of our roundtable, which will be more dedicated to the supplier challenges and opportunities, of course, of this transformation. As I said in my introduction, the circularity comes with a new market creation. The market for new product is already in place and running for years. We are now calling, and Orange is calling, for the consolidation of the second-hand market, to have reliable products that are as good as new and that we can also optimize, as we said, the raw material usage as an example. And for that, Orange has taken a unique commitment on the public market, which is to spend by 2025 10% of our relevant IT and CapEx for refurbished product. So this is a call for our suppliers to provide a portfolio on refurbishment and on circular economy in general. For that, we do have the Oscar program, who is promoting internally but also externally to Orange and calling for circular economy best practices promotion. This Oscar program is already a reality with key players like Nokia since 2021, but also Ericsson or Juniper. But this will not be enough. If we want to reach our sustainable commitment, we need all our suppliers to engage their transformation and to provide and propose circular portfolio, circular product and circular services, as you mentioned, Esteban. So before giving the hand to Farhan for the Nokia perspective, I would like just to address some question to you, Esteban, regarding the contribution of circular economy for sustainability, really on the sustainability level. Previously, you shared the green ITN pillars, and circular economy was mentioned as a reliable one. Could you please be more specific on the expectation and especially the benefit of the circular economy for the decarbonation, please?
Yes, so for decarbonation, I want to talk about refurbish first. There is a consensus around new to refurbish equipment about 1 to 10 on embedded emissions, so emissions of the manufacturing of the equipment, which is heavy in the carbon
1 to 10,
footprint.
that's big. Yeah.
Yes, 1 to 10. So this means that if an equipment has embedded emissions of 100 kilo of CO2 equivalent, the same product but refurbished, we consider that it has an embedded emissions of only 10 kilo. So that's the bill, the CO2 bill is divided by 10. Reuse, it also has even a smaller footprint, because here we don't even repair the equipment basically. So we just have to move the equipment, and there is no other carbon footprint associated to this. So voilà. Instead of scraping the product, reusing it, it makes a big difference. On top of it, extending the lifetime of the equipment is good as well, because no new equipment is produced, or more realistically, it's shifted from a few years in time, so it's worth it. For some products, of course, it must be balanced with possible energy efficiency gains. We know that, for example, radios, they are subject to big energy efficiency gains, so we have to balance this. Finally, modularity is really important too. It's always a pity when we have to change a chassis that works well, just because the new cars are incompatible with it.
Absolutely. There is definitely room for improvement on the way we are using raw materials. Thank you. And this ratio 1 to 10 is definitely impressive and confirmed it's a reliable lever for decarbonation. And what about the financials in the circular economy practices? Are we, as an operator, expecting a cost decrease because the product has been already on the market, produced, been sold and recovered? What are our expectations on the financials, please?
Definitely, yes. So some affiliates can be afraid of refurbished equipment because they want the newest, the best-in-class equipment, and that's understandable. Fortunately, price is really an incentive for circular economy. Pilots suggest that substantial savings can be reached when you buy refurbished equipment, about a 50% price discount compared to new. So it means that for a constrained budget, it can allow to deploy more. For suppliers, however, these discounts, we don't think it means the end of their business, as they don't need, as for example, you don't need to manufacture new equipment. We believe that the profit margins can still benefit from refurbished, especially in the context of inflation of raw materials.
Thank you very much. You're right. The idea is definitely to move to more services than hardware, and in a matter of great collaboration with our partners. You're right. Talking about cooperation and collaboration, Orange is very active on the external market to promote circular economy for the various reasons we just explained before. We are engaged as an operator in various consortiums to promote and to share our experience, but also to look for the expectations of the other players on the market. Can you please just share some of the initiatives we are working in?
Yes, we're working in different consortia, as you put it. So there will be a lot of acronyms now, but be prepared. So GSMA have released several white papers on IT and refurbished and IT and mobile circularity, with a focus on circularity services in 2024. At NGMN, there's a working group, the Green Future Networks, which is taking place since 2021, with 3 work streams, one of which being dedicated to telco supply chain sustainability and circular economy. There will be a white paper released really early 2024, if not by the time of vision of the roundtable. Also the Joint Alliance for CSR, or JAC, of which Orange is a founding member, will launch a working group on circular economy this year. Additionally, we have one-to-one exchanges with our fellow operators, for example, with DT in the framework of Victory. These exchanges are more and more targeting circular economy as well.
Thank you, GSMA. Thank you, Esteban. So there is definitely a collaboration stream on that. So GSMA has been mentioned, NGMN as well, and the JAC. So you're right, Orange is a founding member, and it represents now 27 worldwide operators that are together to talk to the suppliers. So one voice to supplier. We hope also will make it more easy for you suppliers to engage this transformation. So now let's get straight to Nokia point of view. Dear Farhan, Nokia has been exemplary in the Oscar program. Since the beginning of this great program, in 2021, Nokia has signed a contractual framework agreement with Orange for the radio access equipment, meaning Nokia is ready to propose circular product and circular services. And very recently, Nokia has also accepted and proposed to open to fixed access networks. So we see here a great movement of amplification of the possibilities. But to be really honest, some other suppliers are not that confident, and there is sometimes some reluctance as well to move on. So could you please just share the point of view of Nokia? Why are you so aggressive in such a positive topic so far?
Yeah, nice question, Florian. And just before I answer, I think Esteban has made some right reflections in his comments, and we'll come back to them during the course of our talk. Answering your question, I think I strongly believe for circularity to have an impact, we need to take an industry-wide view. All the parties in that chain has to embrace circularity in its true principles. And only then we will see a net outcome. Now in Nokia, we have sustainability and circularity in our forefront. We are going across the business groups. So we start with mobile networks. Now we have got fixed networks in the realms. We actually have a dedicated portfolio called Circular Product and Services, which is squarely looking at how to fast track our customers on the circular journey. Now, we have an end-to-end service that we are offering, which enables our customers to reuse, resell, or recycle the dismantled units, or they can come to us for refurbished units, which come with Nokia quality and Nokia warranty. And with this quality and warranty, I think these units can then be used for either the expansion of the networks or for the maintenance of the networks. So in Nokia, sustainability and circularity is a big thing.
Indeed, and it's confirmed by operations and processes already in place. And we hope all our suppliers will also get into this great move. Taking into consideration the previous exchanges we had with Nokia on circularity operations challenges, one of the pain points that was raised is the availability of product. Today, it's no surprise, the reverse logistics is not deployed everywhere. We see it now for the smartphone, for the home devices, and it's getting under construction for the ITN. So as soon as we can't have all the product available in one place, we need to find a workaround. And I know Nokia is proposing something, an interesting initiative so far to provide more visibility of products for refurbishment. This is an initiative that Orange and Telefonica are part of it with Nokia. So we see here again this competition spirit, the idea to work with our competitors to make it happen. And what is really exciting is that it's coming from Nokia. It's a proposal of Nokia to move on. So could you please just share some insight of this very interesting initiative?
Yeah, why not? So like I said, in Nokia, we are going through a list of initiatives. One of the initiatives we have started or we have set up is the ESG Advisory Council, where we regularly come and meet our customers and we discuss the challenges being faced in circularity and what can be the possible solutions to promote circularity even further. Now, two challenges come up quite often, one being the supply and demand. Now, Nokia has recently embarked on a concept with our colleagues in Bell Labs, and we have created this work group, which we have got Telefonica and Orange. We are in the early days, but what we are trying to shape is a regulated, deep liquid secondary marketplace, which is supported by Web3 and smart contracts blockchain. And more will come from it. We are in the proof of concept stage. But I think these kind of structured initiatives, if we put in place and we have the right parties collaborating into it, only then we will be seeing this issue being addressed. And we are in the start of it, so stay tuned. We'll do more on that soon. The second challenge we hear about is the legislation. Now, I believe that different organizations are at different maturity cycle in the whole circularity chain. But I always say that regulations do not drive innovations. It is the innovation and the business value, for the lack of a better word, forces the legislation to be reviewed and adapted. Now, if we create a right ecosystem, a strong ecosystem of circularity, we showcase the right value, I think legislations would follow. Having said that, I think the organizations like GSMA, who have already written a few white papers, and UNIDO, they are in a significant position to expedite the whole process, create the awareness. And I think, fortunately, we have Mark with us today, so we can see if UNIDO has any plans already in this line.
That's a good point to heads up to Mark. Indeed, then fair question, Mark. I have two questions for you. The first one, indeed, in this kind of situation where operators and suppliers are facing an old-style regulation, shall I say, to be adapted regulation. In that case, is UNIDO potentially a partner to make a change on this trend? And second question, from your seat in the UNIDO, what is your perception of the growing, I hope, move of the circular economy on the industry?
Thank you, thank you, Florian. And let me first say how interesting the comments have been. I cannot agree more when Farhan says that innovation is a driver rather than legislation, and I'll come to that. But also what Esteban was saying about refurbishment. I mean, first of all, also circular economy is an umbrella concept. It talks about refurbishment, it's about recycling, but it's also about eco-design, better recyclable and better refurbishing projects that will come on the market. And I'm personally convinced that in a number of years from now, refurbished products will be mainstream. Everyone will find it normal that you have a refurbished phone or a refurbished laptop. But we are not there yet, of course. And why is a UN agency like UNIDO even part of this discussion? You could wonder. What we see and what we have alluded to before is that to make a change in the market is not so straightforward. The existing combination of suppliers and multinationals and consumers and legislation can be locked in a certain way. And we as a UN agency have, being UNIDO, Industrial Development Organization, we have these connections, this cooperation with industry, from the largest corporates to the smallest corner shop. So that is there. We know what is happening. At the same time, we are a multilateral organization. Our member states, our country governments, our ministries. So in that sense, we have this link to governments as well. And I believe it is this combination that brings us here. Yeah, that gives us this, if you want, catalytic role. And finally, we are neutral. We do not compete with Orange or Nokia, nor are we a government. So we are not saying you have to make this legislation or that. We are bringing, our objective is, and our mandate is to bring all of this together and try to shift what is happening, because essentially there is a win-win here. What do private actors want? Access to markets, access to new products, new consumers. What do governments want? Governments want investment, foreign investment in their country. They want jobs. They want innovation. So these two are always there, but they do not necessarily match. And that is what we try to bring together. And also here, and we see it already happening. We see both the opportunity in Egypt, but we also see the challenges. What are the challenges? They range from getting the right levels of quantities of products, but then also quality. And this is where what Farhan said also, and what we see also is the desire, but also the need of market actors to work together. What you say, the competition, because if everyone starts collecting by themselves, you're never going to reach the scale that is required. And then we see, of course, the legislation as a challenge, and again, what Farhan is saying. Legislation will not be the driver. It should be a facilitator. And what is almost always happening is that regulation is slower than innovation. So what I like about the project that we are doing is that we will be able, and we already see that coming, to give very sharp advice and recommendations to the government, saying like, this is the issue. You have investors, you have big actors who want to come to your market, but ABC is missing in terms of legislation, and this is what we can bring because of the type of organization that we are, and this is what we will help the project with. And I'm talking now at national level, but likewise it then moves to the regional level when it comes to standards, when it comes to cross-border trade. And it goes also to the global level, then to EU, to US, in terms of feeding back into legislation. How can this be tweaked? How can this be improved? Because none of us want to end in Egypt with this pilot. No, we want to scale. We want to bring it to the whole MENA region, to the whole of Africa, and to the whole world eventually. And your second question on the global trend, absolutely, we do see that. Even just using the example of this pilot, when we were actively looking for a partner and finding eventually Orange shortly after that, and still regularly we do get a lot of requests from other actors. Can we join? Can we do something similar? Mm-hmm. So we see that in different value chains, in different geographies. Part of that is, for certain value chains, also triggered by upcoming legislation, the EU Green Deal that is coming, and that is important. But I believe that should not be the main driver, and it is not the main driver. What I see, and I see this also with Orange and Nokia, is that there is a business opportunity, and this is also what we want to support. If you move now, you will have a benefit going further. You will be an early mover, but you will be in a much better position. Well, to help save the environment, but also to make money. This is what we want to do because the private sector works like that, and that is fine. And this is what we want to help achieve. Take away the barriers that are there. To make sure that private sector can enter more easily and can do what it is best at. Thank you, Mark. Ending a game changer, shall I say, for the benefit of people and planet, yes, exactly as you mentioned. Thank you so much, Mark. One question for Esteban, just in terms of technical point of view when it comes to refurbished product. Okay, this is common sense to say to have a refurbished product, I need to have a new product first. Okay, second hand comes obviously with a first hand, and this is why also the latest technology are not eligible, and this is common sense for being bought as refurbished. Maybe some other operators are not so used to this refurbished market than Orange. Could you please share some of the guidelines in which Orange is planning to optimize the usage of this new kind of product, and also the key prerequisites to consider? Yes, so issuing guidelines is of course important. However, it can be hard to come up with simple rules, as these topics can be complex, nuanced, and often case by case. However, the great trends are that every product that has been for 2 years or more in the supplier portfolio is eligible. This rule of 2 years is really important to us. It concerns a lot of equipment because affiliates, they don't always purchase something that was released last month. For example, when a pluri-annual project is carried out, by the end of the deployment, the supplier should strive to provide refurbished equipment for what is deployed in the last years of the product. It also makes sense for more mature technology to take refurbished equipment into account, only about spare parts, for example. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Another guideline is to consider and challenge energy efficiency gains in your product comparing to older Gen 1s. Often it's taken for granted that the new product has a 5% energy efficiency gain, let's swap. But no, we shouldn't be doing like this because the gains from not changing the equipment can be much more important.
This also pertains to the carbon intensity of the electricity grid. I just want to remind that this landscape changes a lot. A lot of affiliates are doing solarization. Also, the electricity mixes in country is less and less carbonated with the years passing. So it can make less and less change equipment just for a small gain in energy efficiency. Also, accounting like this only takes into account the question of carbon, and it leaves aside the question of resources, which is important and strategic as well. In addition, there is a whole category of product which is not concerned with energy efficiency gains. It's passive equipment. Passive equipment can also be refurbished, and they are not concerned with energy efficiency.
Fair point. Thank you, Esteban. You're right. It's not always the best solution to move for the newer product from energy efficiency. We need to see from the carbon experience. And we do have also a roundtable on this called the total carbon emission, which is the fact to definitely have figures on carbon to make the right choice. Thank you. Thank you very much, Esteban. One question for Farhan regarding the mix between the new product, the refurbished product. I mean, from the Oscar perspective, we would like to have a 100% refurbished network. Does not make sense, I guess, but what is the position of Nokia, please, on this mix?
I think Esteban made some right points there. There is no one answer to this question, but definitely there are very clear parameters that can be considered to make an informed decision. In our context, when we talk about circularity, we talk about infrastructure, we talk about hardware, we talk about firmware. Now, it largely depends on the customer's network evolution state and the availability of second-hand units. Now, if you are having more mature mobile generations in your network, 2G, 3G, 4G, you're more primed to benefit from circularity because different customers, TCOs are at a different stage across the world, and then the units are available. But if you're looking for newer features, or if you're looking for new technologies which are more environmental friendly, that's the balance that a customer has to strike, and that's case by case. And generally, rule of thumb has been TCO 5 to 10 years, so more or less that's the guidance we have at the moment.
Thank you, Farhan. So indeed, a case-by-case analysis needs also to be performed. What about the quality of refurbished product from Nokia standpoint? What are the quality standards?
Yeah, secondary market still is fragmented and unregulated. So quality does come up as a topic now and then. And that is the very reason where Nokia has started to establish these refurbishment centers. So the Nokia product that is certified is certified at a quality standard defined by our R&D and technical team. So we go through a very rigorous process. We refresh the entire unit. We test it for all its functionality. We load the latest firmware onto it, and we assign the warranty as we would do to a new unit. So a unit coming out of our refurbishment center actually is as good as a new unit. So the confidence should be there for those units to come out and be benefited for expansion of the network or for the maintenance of the network.
Thank you, Farhan. And quality is definitely key to make this initiative a success. We are already reaching the end of this roundtable. So briefly, I would like to ask you, each and every one of you, first, do you see any replication necessity for this circular economy? And also a conclusion word for our exchange. Farhan, please.
I think we have just started, like Mark was mentioning. This is not the start and end of the whole discussion. I think knowing what we know about the environmental impact, I think it should become almost a hygiene factor for all the parties involved to embrace circularity, sustainability in their principles. I will also say that we advise our customers that when they are using the dismantled units or they're purchasing it from this unregulated market, any units, do get them tested and tested at the right level because you do not want to impact your network. But if you're dealing with Nokia products, you heard our portfolio, we are available, and we are happy to serve.
Thank you very much, Farhan. Mark, could you please share some words?
Thank you, Florian, and everyone. Extremely interesting, and I'm fully confident that we can make this happen. The fact that we are sitting here discussing this today is already an achievement. 5 years ago, this would not have happened, and I fully agree with the points made. Once the quality is there, once the business model works, regulations are moving, then this can go even much faster than we are thinking.
Thank you very much, Marc. Esteban?
Just to be quick, I'm very happy that we had this roundtable. I'm eager to see what the UNIDO project and bench in Egypt will give. I hope it will really help to enhance and boost the KPIs for the refurbishment at Orange and also for Nokia. And so let's see if we can then take this example. Let's make it a success, I hope. And then we'll see if we can replicate this in our other geographies. So we are mainly in Europe and MEA. So we'll see if we can do the same in Europe maybe in a couple of years.
Thank you very much, Esteban. Thank you so much for all of you to have been present to this roundtable. Just as key takeaways, so lever for cost optimization is confirmed for circular economy. Lever of decarbonation, this ratio 1 to 10 for carbon embedded emission is very significant. And also there is optimization of the raw material of our industry. Collaboration is key, so let's all continue to work together, even between competitors. There is another roundtable on ITN, if you are interested, for this supplier forum. It's led by Rodrigue Rabino, my colleague. And the next roundtable will be on circular economy, but for smartphones. So stay tuned and have a lovely forum of Orange, supplier forum, sorry. Thank you.